Well, I guess I better get going now. Don't leave me alone! We're going to talk about Sam Cooke. He was one of the first people to sing solely soul. Huh, see what I did there? But first, you should like and subscribe totally. If you want me to do any more videos, let me know in the comments. I'm going to get more comments. If you find Sam Cooke interesting, listen to his music. Sam Cooke was born on January 2nd, 1931, in Clarksdale, Mississippi. He was originally named Samuel Cooke, but then added an E. More on that later. But at the age of 2, he and his family moved to Chicago during the Great Migration. In 1950, he joined the soul group the Soulsters, but left them in 1957 to steer away from the gospel and start a solo soul career. Sorry guys, there's just so many puns. So many. Okay, I'll stop. For now. When he started his solo soul career, it was first in secret from the Soulsters, who he hadn't officially broken up with, and he went under the name Dale Cooke, which people passed off as his sibling. Then he added an E to his name to be more distinct and mark a new part in his music life. Sam Cooke's lead guitarist was Bobby Womack, who, fun fact, played upside down right hand guitar. More on that later. But he himself played both guitar and piano and had an amazing voice. In the same year he left the Soulsters, he came out with the song You Sent Me, a hit that you haven't heard of but are gonna listen to after this video. Okay, kids, time to make inferences from photos. What inferences can we make? The microphone's on fire. Correct. I actually think he's smoking. Now, we do not promote smoking. Sam Cooke was married 2 times, once in 1953 to the dancer and singer Dolores Elizabeth Milligan Cooke, better known as Dee Dee Mohawk. They divorced in 1958, and a year later she died in a fatal car collision in Fresno. But Sam Cooke had already gotten married to his second wife, Barbara Campbell Cooke, who was apparently his childhood sweetheart. Okay, get ready. As you know, Sam Cooke was born in Clarksdale, Mississippi. He then moved to Chicago in 1933. Okay, here's when it gets complicated. He moved to LA in 1957, presumably got married to his first wife, and moved to New York after the divorce. He then moved back to LA and stayed there. And I might be wrong, but hopefully that's right. Sam and Barbara had 3 children, and it wasn't all cheery. In 1963, Sam Cooke's youngest child wandered into the family pool in Los Angeles and drowned. While we're on the topic of children, Sam Cooke had 2 illegitimate children. Sam Cooke participated in different civil rights activities. He wrote the song A Change Is Gonna Come after being rejected from a hotel in Louisiana based on the color of his skin. Later on the TV, he saw Bob Dylan performing a song and it inspired him. He went to the recording studio, recorded the vocals, and later an orchestra was added to it. One of my personal favorite albums they did was One Night Stand at the Harlem Square Club, which, in my opinion, may be better than some of the original songs. You see, Sam Cooke was very popular since he catered to all colored audiences, but in a smoky Harlem bar, he didn't have to answer to anyone. Now, you may be wondering, if this guy was so popular, why hasn't my dad talked about him performing or retiring or whatever? That is because Sam Cooke didn't live past the age of 33. On December 11th, 1964, Sam Cooke was at a bar in LA, flaunting his money and getting drunk. He approached a 22-year-old woman, Lisa Boyer, and started joking around with her. Then, they left the restaurant and got into his car. Sam and Lisa went to the Hacienda Motel, and Sam Cooke checked in under him and his wife's name. Okay, now we stray a bit from the facts, and it's your word against mine. The following is a paraphrased version of what Lisa Boyer said happened. Sam Cooke was obviously drunk and said he'd drive her home. He pulled up to the motel instead, and when she wanted to get out, he held her back in and made her stay in. He ran up to the motel, checked in, and brought her up to the room. There, he apparently attempted to rape her. When he went to the bathroom, she took his clothes because they were mixed with hers and ran into the motel. The moment you've all been waiting for. Why this testimony makes no sense. 1. Why wouldn't she get out of the car when he checked in? If he tried to get her, the motel operator would see. 2. Why would he leave her in an unlocked hotel room, unwatched, if he was doing something illegal. Sam Cooke was pretty smart. He graduated high school being an A student and voted most likely to succeed. Maybe he can lock the door? And three, why would she run out without trying to get the motel operator to call the police? Something smells fishy to me. Another thing worth mentioning, the clothing and money that Lisa Boyer had ran off with was never found. Oh, and also Lisa Boyer was arrested for prostitution exactly a month later, and if that wasn't enough, in 1979 Lisa Boyer was found guilty of second-degree murder for the death of her boyfriend. But we're not to the end of this yet. Sam Cooke apparently realized Lisa Boyer was gone, so he put on shoes and a blazer and ran out of the motel room. The motel operator, Bertha Franklin, saw him and claimed he lunged towards her, so she shot him in the chest. He still apparently came towards her, so she hit him with a broom handle. He fell to the floor and said his final words, "Lady, you shot me." People are unsure on whether or not this is a setup. Sam Cooke was a successful black person in an unaccepting time. The jury in Sam Cooke's case took 15 minutes to rule the death justifiable homicide, but many parts of his death remain a mystery. There are some very interesting but weird things that happened after Sam Cooke's death. I'm going to make a chart so I don't confuse myself. So, you know how I mentioned Bobby Womack earlier? He wrote a few hit songs like Across 110th Street, but the reason I'm mentioning him now is because he married Sam Cooke's widow after the death of Sam. You may think that's weird, but not so weird. But now, like usual, things get weird. Sam Cooke's widow, Barbara Campbell Cooke, caught Bobby Womack having an affair with Sam Cooke's 17-year-old daughter, Linda Womack. Barbara Campbell then shot him, but only grazed his arm. They divorced in 1971. After that, Linda Cooke became Linda Womack. She didn't marry Bobby Womack. She married his brother Cecil. Sam Cooke is interesting, and you should listen to his music if you like this video. No, I mean enjoyed, not that kind of like. But if you want. Anyway, Sam Cooke isn't remembered enough because he didn't end up being a living legend, but he was a soul pioneer.